I'm Josh Katz, CPA, and today we're going to talk about what you should do if you can't file your taxes before the October 15th extended deadline. October 15th is the final extended deadline for most taxpayers who filed an extension back in April. But what happens if you're not ready? Maybe life got in the way, your paperwork isn't organized, or you're still waiting for tax documents. Missing this deadline can feel stressful, but don't panic, you still have options. There are a lot of reasons why you maybe couldn't file by this deadline. It may be something, maybe you who's not organized, it may be something that you're waiting for and someone else isn't organized. But oftentimes what we see is that you have a lot of records, there's a lot to do, and you're busy running your business and you haven't set aside time to organize everything so that you're ready to file. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what to do if you can't file by October 15th, how to reduce your penalties, and what programs might be available to you. Number one, the first thing I recommend is to file as soon as possible. The single most important step that you could take is to file this return as soon as you can, even if you're already past the deadline. And here's why. The penalty for failing to file is much higher than the penalty for failing to pay. The IRS charges up to 5% of the unpaid taxes per month for failing to file your return, capped at 25%. On the other hand, the penalty for not paying is only about 0.5% each month. So if you have to choose between filing versus not filing at all, filing always comes first. Even if you don't have the money to file, get your return in. You'll stop the worst of the penalties in their tracks and buy yourself some time to deal with the payment side. Oftentimes also you think you're not ready, but once you sit down, you get everything together, you talk with your accountant, you may find that you actually are much farther along than you originally thought. The second thing I recommend is to make an estimated payment to the IRS. If you have the money to pay the IRS, but you don't have the time to file your return, it's better to get the payment in and then file your return after when you're able to. Now, what if you're missing the documents or exact numbers? The IRS would rather you send in an estimated return than nothing at all. You can use the best information you have at the time and then file an amended return later when the exact numbers are ready. Think of it like this. Something is always better than nothing when it comes to filing your taxes. An imperfect return reduces penalties, keeps you compliant, and shows the good faith to the IRS. The third thing only applies if you're living abroad. However, if you are living abroad, then the IRS does offer a chance to apply for a second extension. For Americans living outside the United States, there is this option. However, it's not automatic like the first extension is. The first extension, from April 15th to October 15th, all you need to do is file for it. The second extension is more one you're applying for, which means the IRS doesn't necessarily have to accept that. You have to request it, and the IRS has to approve it. So if you're abroad and you think you'll need more time, make sure to submit this request properly and don't assume that you're automatically covered. Oftentimes, Americans who are living overseas do need extra time to file because they may be waiting on a tax return from another country. For example, if you're living in the UK, you may need to wait for your UK accountant to prepare your UK tax return. And that's, I think, why the IRS gives this extra time. The fourth thing you can do is request a penalty abatement. If you do miss the deadline and you get hit with penalties, you can always have them reduced or removed. This is called an abatement. There are two main types. The first is the first-time penalty abatement. If you have a clean compliance history for the past 3 years, the IRS may waive your penalties once. We help lots of our clients every year with the first-time abatement. This can happen because you made a simple oversight, you were late. Whatever the case is, you can always request a first-time abatement, and the IRS is surprisingly generous with their first-time abatement. The second type of abatement is the reasonable cause abatement. If you have a valid reason for missing the deadline, like serious illness, natural disasters, or other circumstances beyond your control, the IRS may consider removing the penalties. Many taxpayers don't realize they can request penalty relief, but the option is always worth exploring. Number 5 is to request an installment agreement. Now, let's say you submitted your return and you're ready to pay, but you don't have all the money to pay. Maybe you have some of the money that you owe. If you owe money, you can't afford to pay it all at once, the IRS offers installment agreements. This allows you to break your balance into manageable monthly payments instead of one big lump sum. Setting up a payment plan won't erase the penalties or interest, but it will prevent the IRS from taking more aggressive collection actions. And for most taxpayers, it's an easy way to stay in good standing. Number 6 is offer and compromise. In more extreme cases, there's something called the offer and compromise. This program allows you to settle your tax debt for less than the full amount owed if you truly cannot afford to pay. Qualifying for this, however, isn't easy. The IRS looks closely at your income, expenses, and assets, but if you're in serious financial hardship, it's worth discussing with a professional. Some taxpayers have been able to resolve tens of thousands of dollars of debt for just a fraction of the balance. Number 7 is I recommend you speak with a professional. At the end of the day, everyone's situation is unique. A tax professional can help you figure out which of these options makes the most sense for you, whether it's filing late, requesting relief, or negotiating with the IRS. Getting expert guidance can save you money, reduce your stress, and help you avoid costly mistakes. The bottom line is, if you can't file your taxes before October 15th, don't ignore the problem. File as soon as possible, pay what you can, request relief where you qualify, and get the help if you need it. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more tips, and share it with someone who might be stressing about the deadline. See you in the next video.